An article like this motivates me even more to make finance easily understood and accessible by all, not just the top 1%. According to this article by CNBC, Your Money, 46% of 401k investors are clueless about their investment. I agree with this article that taking advantage of an employer's match is in your best interest, even if it means eating rice and beans and ramen noodles and eggs. But are forced savings and target date funds is in the best interest for you? And do you really need to be an investment expert to pick the right funds? My answer to all those three questions is a big no. After all, there is precedence in forced saving. I believe it goes by Social Security. But I digress. Target date fund can be good for some, but may not be good for others. Long-term investing is not as complicated as the finance world make it to be. My promise to you, after you are done with this 401k Millionaire Made Simple Day Zero edition, you will have the information you need to take control of your hard-earned money, investment, and future. This episode will discuss two things you need to join the 401k Millionaire League. They are your risk profile and the fund's asset allocations. It is in your best interest to align the funds to your risk profile, not the other way around. To assess your risk profile, you need to start with your financial goal. What is your FIN, Financial Independence Number? This is the nest egg you need to withdraw and not run out during your retirement. If you need more information, I have a video up here, how to determine how much you need to retire. Next, what wealth phase are you in? Are you in a wealth accumulation phase where your primary goal is growth? Or are you in a wealth preservation phase where your primary goal is to preserve your wealth by mitigating risk while accepting low to moderate growth? Investing in 401k is a long game, spanning over 35 years. I divide 401k investment into 4 quarters. The first quarter starts as soon as you are eligible to start in your 401k plan. That can be 18, 20, 25, etc. The second quarter begins when you're 35 years old. The third quarter starts at 50 years old. That's about 10 years from reaching your financial goal and the withdrawal age. The fourth quarter starts at 59 and a half. That's when you reach the financial goal and can withdraw without penalty from your 401k fund. If your 401k millionaire game plan is not depicted here, no worries. I have future episodes that will cover catch-up contributions and strategies you can employ. Next up is risk. What is your risk tolerance and risk capacity? Risk tolerance is the emotional side of risk. How much risk are you willing to take? How much drawdowns and volatility can you stomach? Risk capacity is the mathematical side of risk. How much money can you afford to contribute regularly into a 401k plan and not touch it until you retire? How much drawdown and how long underwater can you realistically take before the market dips start to jeopardize your financial goal? How long do you have until you need to withdraw from 401k plan? The expert calls this time horizon. I'm 46 years old and plan to withdraw 401k at 60. So my time horizon is 14, 60 minus 46. To avoid derailing your 401k retirement plan, your risk tolerance must be aligned with your risk capacity. When your risk tolerance exceeds your risk capacity, you are putting your retirement fund at risk, which can result in pushing out your retirement date or returning back to the workforce sooner than you want to. In my past life, I was an avid gambler. Yes, I made a mistake too. I witnessed many casino goers where their risk tolerance exceeded their risk capacity, resulted in financial distress and relationship issues. They put thousands of dollars on blackjack table, lost all the money they brought with them, lost the money they borrowed from their friends, families, and neighbors. They gambled their bills money. They gambled their future money that they didn't have. Fortunately for me, my risk tolerance matched my risk capacity. I never gambled my bills money. I never gambled my future money. I knew how much money I can afford to have fun with. Okay, enough about my past. Let's get back to the present. Once you're done with the self-assessment, you can follow Coach T's successful game plan. You are attacking an offense for the first 2 quarters of the game, growing your wealth. You can afford to be aggressive because you're in the wealth accumulation phase with time on your side. In the 3rd quarter, once you build up a comfortable lead nearing your financial goal, you still need to score, grow your wealth, but turn up the defense to protect the lead that you have built up, not letting the nest egg you have accumulated dwindle. This is the quarter where you should have a moderate risk, letting go off the gas pedal and start to apply some brakes. If you executed the game plan to perfection, starting the 4th quarter at 59.5, you want to protect that lead by stretching out the offense and playing prevent defense, mitigating risk with very modest growth, preserving your wealth. You want the lead to last until the end of regulation. You want the wealth to last until the end of life. In sports, if you build a dynasty, you'll be talked about among the greatest of all time debate. In 401k investment, if you build a generation of wealth, your beneficiary will carry on your legacy. Remember, this is only a guide. If you have a stable job with at least 2 years of cash reserve toward your retirement, and you plan to work longer, you can push out your withdrawal date further out, and you can shorten the 3rd quarter as you see fit. Before I proceed to asset allocation, backtest results are from Portfolio Visualizer. They have the free features and the paid features. For this demonstration, I only use the free version. I can't afford the paid version. If you research the internet, you can get overwhelmed really quickly with all the asset classes and asset allocations. For the sake of what's commonly available in most 401k plan, asset allocations among these 3 asset classes, US stocks, international stocks, and bonds, should give you a pretty good idea on the role they play in either growing your wealth or preserving your wealth. Funds inside of 401k have a manager or a team of manager that take a pool of money from different investors to purchase stocks, bonds, REITs, commodity, etc. to meet the fund's objective. Asset allocation is a way for funds manager to maximize growth while mitigating risk. They do that by spreading investment among different asset classes that have different growth profile and risk profile. Generally speaking, funds with 100% in stocks like Vanguard 500 Index aims for growth and value by tracking the top 500 US large cap companies. This fund has high growth potential with high market volatility. 60/40 is a balanced fund with 60% stocks and 40% bonds. It provides most of the growth that 100% stock provides, but with less risk. This is considered a moderate fund. Target date fund takes it one step further. It seeks high total return until its target retirement date, where it auto-shifts toward more conservative bonds. It is a well-diversified fund with the proper mix of US stocks, international stocks, and bonds. Depending on the fund's target year, its mix of stocks and bonds changes. Extracted from my June 401k fund, target date 2045 has 53.6% in US stocks, 36.5% in international stocks, and 9.9% in US bonds. Since it has a 21-year time horizon, it is stock heavy. For the target date 2025, its allocation changes to 31.5% in US stocks, 21.4% in international stocks, and 47.1% in bonds. With the target year only 1 year away, 1 year time horizon, it automatically shifted towards more bonds to preserve the wealth with minimal risk and very little growth. Investment returns fluctuate from year to year, but funds return over time are displayed as a flat percentage to help evaluating a fund's performance, comparing multiple funds' performance or your portfolio performance. 3 common investment returns are compound annualized growth rate, or also known as CAGR. It's the annualized geometric return of the portfolio. It simply looks at the starting value and ending value annualized across a specified period. Time-weighted return, TWRR, only looks at the starting value and the ending value for the specified period. It does not factor in contributions and withdrawal. Time-weighted return is useful for measuring individual fund performance or comparing different funds' performance because there are no external factors like contributions and withdrawals. Money-weighted return, MWRR, factors in the timing of your contributions and withdrawal. It is useful for measuring your portfolio performance. If you're curious about the formula, you're more than welcome to look at the help doc or Google search it. However, to get an investment vehicle rolling, you don't need to know what's under the hood. You just have to understand the use cases. You cannot talk about returns without talking about risk. Drawdown or the percentage drop from the relative high to the relative low. The length of the drawdown measures when the drop started and when it bottomed out. Recovery time is how long it takes to climb to the same level before the dip. The underwater period is the duration of the initial drop to the bottom and back to the same level before the drop. It is possible during your investment journey, you may experience a lost decade where your fund is not growing, losing money. For my working career, if I were to invest 100% in Vanguard 500 Index, I would experience a lost decade from 1998 to 2008, where my portfolio balance was less than total contribution up to that point. But if I stayed the course, stayed invested, I would have been rewarded with a fantastic return. The sooner you understand and accept this, the better. No matter what funds you have, no matter what asset allocation you have, risk is unavoidable. The best you can do is understand the risk, know when and how much risk is appropriate. When it comes to investing, natural portfolio ups and down is just a natural paper gains and loss. You're not winning or losing until you actually sell. Stay the course, stay invested through the ups and downs of the market. Even what seemed to be safe, saving money in cash, putting money in savings and checking account, they are still risky. Every year that you hold money in cash, savings, and checking, you are losing money. You are losing the spending power due to inflation. In my 26 years working career from 1998 to 2024, we have experienced 4 market stressors. Russian debt default from July 1998 to October 1998, dot-com crash from March 2000 to October 2002, subprime crisis from November 2007 to March 2009, and COVID-19 from January 2020 to March 2020. Different funds with different asset allocation experience different drawdowns, length of drawdowns, recovery time, and underwater periods. Knowing your risk profile from aggressive to moderate to conservative will determine what funds is better fit for you. Don't simply go for funds with the highest returns if they don't align with your risk profile. If you're in a wealth accumulation phase with an aggressive profile, where you see the market dips as Black Friday, where you get high quality funds at a steep discount, accumulating more shares with the same weekly contributions, you will be maximizing your returns on its way up. If your time horizon is less than a decade, you may want to lean more towards moderate and conservative funds. 100% US stocks may not be suitable for you. 100% in stocks or heavily in stock may not be suitable because of the potential downside and extended underwater period. With a shorter time horizon, diversified funds with more bonds and stocks will protect you from paper loss half of your nest egg, but you are sacrificing the growth. Drawdown percentage and underwater period are the 2 important metrics for you to pay attention to. Depending on your risk profile, where you're at on your financial goal, you may not want to expose your 401k fund to any unnecessary risk. It is crucial that you adjust your asset allocation as you are getting closer toward your retirement. You want to make sure that your funds will outlast your retirement. Cars, computers, and phones, etc., are complex machinery and devices. We don't know how each of those components work together, but we operate them and use them on a daily basis without having a second thought. The same principles applies to investing. What I have discussed so far barely scratches the surface, but it's enough to get you started. To start leveraging the earning power of the market, timing the market, we just need to know what knobs to turn, what buttons and pedals to press. Once you get the 401k investment vehicle rolling, then you can start looking deeper into the spiderweb world of investing to optimize your portfolio. This episode only went over how to determine your risk profile and understand different asset allocations, their growth, and their risk profile. I will deep dive into funds inside my 401k plan provided by Fidelity Investments. Your plan's user interface may have different look and feel. You may have different lists of funds, but the metrics, the concept, and the principles should be transferable to your plan. After you're done with that episode, you and I can help rewrite this article. Instead of saying 46% of 401k investors are clueless about their investment, it should say 0% of 401k investors are clueless about their investment. At least that's the goal.